Silver Defender wants to know that, I said a couple weeks ago that my dad was not overly impressed with Star Wars. In fact, his review was, "What a piece of crap!" But Silver Defender says, "What did your dad think when you worked on the prequels years later?" He did not know. I got hired onto the prequels in July of 1999. No, 1998. My dad was still alive, but he was in the deep throes of Alzheimer's. So there was no, he was past recognition at that point. I will tell you that he loved that I was working in commercials and in special effects, even though the moment I was sort of ascendant in that is the moment that his ability to cognitively engage with the world was descending. Yeah, it was deteriorating. But I had there were a lot of moments at ILM working on movies, working on the Matrix sequels when I thought he would have been really, really chuffed watching this play out. One of the really, really, really magical things about having children is anytime they demonstrate a mastery or even a deep facility over something you don't. Because, to the baby, you're a god. And parenthood is falling from grace, right, in their eyes, and them usurping us, which is the point. And I mean, both my kids are so good at so many things I am not great at. And every time I get to witness it is deeply thrilling. And so I know that my father would have been deeply, deeply joyful about my career, both at ILM and what happened afterwards. Thanks, Silver Defender. I appreciate that. Gwen, maker of things, says that they've been working on something special for almost a year, built a dozen prototypes, and now at the last hurdle with what ought to be the final product, Gwen thinks they've ruined it. This passion project has sapped their energy, outwitted their imagination, and pushed them beyond their comfort zone so they cannot see the shore. And then they continue, "I know that fail is one hell of a four-letter F word, but when you're defeated by a project, what do you do for solace and comfort?" These wonderful questions, wonderful set of questions about shop practice, and we all deal with this. We all deal with this. I've talked in the past about the sunk cost fallacy, i.e. like, wow, I worked a lot on this piece and I'm just going to keep on trying to make this piece perfect. Sunk cost fallacy in the shop can get you spending 3 times as much time getting something across the line when building it twice would have taken less time. And I frequently give the advice that stopping throwing good money after bad and beginning again from scratch is like a muscle to develop. It sucks every time you have to do it. It sucks every time I have to do it. And yet, it behooves us all as creators, as makers of things, to get used to the idea of scrapping what has been done and starting again from scratch. Every time I do it, the thing I make is better. Even if it's not better, I've learned more doing it than I did before I started it. So it is always to the good end. So starting again from scratch, re-rocking, getting your head back into it, it's a muscle. And like anything, the first few times you do it, it's not going to be great, and then it's great. Do you know what my favorite example of this is? This is a bit of a strange tangent, but I talked about this a few months ago on a live stream. I said that one of the practices my wife and I have as we move around our house and take care of our lives together, as partners, we each take care of different things, and it's not etched in stone, one of us will do laundry, one of us vacuums the house, one of us empties the dishwasher, one of us cleans the dog poop out of the back, right? These kinds of things. One of the things we do as a couple is we thank each other for those things each time they happen. Oh, thank you for emptying the dishwasher. Thanks for taking out the trash. Thanks for pushing the bins out front. Those kinds of things. And I will admit, for the first 10 years of our marriage, I didn't do any laundry. And the split of our household domestic duties was very gendered without me really even paying attention. Patriarchy. And as I started to pay attention to operating the levers of our house, and the real sea change was about 4 years ago, my partner said, I cannot look at another stitch of laundry. I've been doing laundry since I was 14. Can you take over the laundry? And I've been doing the laundry for the past 3 or 4 years. And that has really opened my eyes to operating the levers of the house with my partner. And early on in that process, Julie came home and talked about the practice of thanking each other. And I'll totally tell you straight up, the first time I did it, it felt so patronizing. Thank you for emptying the dishwasher. My partner, who does way more of the housework than I do, thank you. And it felt awful to me. But she was like, thank you. And then like the third time, no longer awkward. Seriously, it's that fast of a no longer awkward. And now we just do it's part of our daily practice. And boy, I can't tell you, it's a great practice. But right, so I was saying this as a way of like that muscle to develop to say thank you to your partner. It only takes 2 or 3 tries. And I know like it sounds strange. In the comments are people being like, that sounds strange and awkward. It is the first couple of times, and then it isn't. And then you'll never want to not do it. Seriously. Sunk cost fallacy is another muscle to develop, but also is abandoning a project. Abandoning it. Like, I abandon a project when I absolutely cannot figure out what the next step is and I'm overwhelmed. That will be a reason that I abandon a project. Sometimes it's because there's a process I don't have yet. I abandoned the Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon sword for the better part of a decade because I wasn't willing to CNC the guard. And it wasn't until I bought a pantograph mill that I made the guard of my dreams. So when I take a project, and that's not quite the same as what you were describing, I recognize that. But when I take a project and I park it, either temporarily or permanently, but let's think about it permanently. Oh, there we go. Let's think about it permanently is it's okay. You are the only person giving you permission or taking it away. And you can abandon that project and not feel guilty about it. That's your prerogative. Don't get me wrong. I get super emotionally tied up in my projects. And I can say this, and it doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy for me, but, you know, going easy on yourself or going a little bit easier on yourself is also a muscle to develop. And be like, I'm human. I'm going to die with a to-do list that is incomplete. So when Kristen sent me this, she highlighted the words defeated by a project, because that really is the essence of your question, Gwen Maker of Things. It is okay to be defeated by a project. We suffer defeats all the time. My advice would be, don't call it a failure, or recognize this. If you are alive today and you are breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you, to quote John Kabat-Zinn, but also you are the result of all the things that have happened to you, and you're a miracle, you're a triumph. All of us are. All the suffering and the privations we've had throughout our lives and the insults and the difficulties. And whatever parts of you that you are really happy with, they're the result of all the good and the bad stuff that happened. They're the result of all the successes, but also all the failures. In fact, I would submit that you are more a product of your failures than your successes. And yeah, going easier on yourself is a muscle that you can develop. So I would consider taking this project that you obviously, like you see it, but you can't see it anymore. put it away with your notes about where it was, and then give yourself the permission to forget about it. And then maybe in a few years, you'll come back to it and be like, now I understand what I did not know back then. But sometimes accepting a full abandonment is the mental frame you need to come back clean and attack this project or get back to remembering why you started the project in the first place. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the Tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.